general government and the school department have to anticipate living with the members that we have, school department, hoping to rely upon the stimulus money to maintain some programs and personnel going into the next fiscal year. But I think the stabilization fund usage would be extremely unwise. And I think we should probably consider taking a position as a board on that.
I just think the stabilization fund has to be a last resort. Use the
Resort at what
last
point?
resort.
For which fiscal year?
Well, I think you have to think 1 year at a time, and I would use stimulus money, exhaust that before I think about tapping into stabilization. As the chairman has said, project bids are going to be coming in soon. We're going to be presented with some sort of bond for our approval on the field turf. Could affect the interest rate on that bond. It may cause that project not to be able to go forward. That's one, depending upon what the bond rating may be on that. So I would be reverse to using stabilization at this time.
I would just mention that as a board, we could recommend that to the school departments that they do that. But we have no,
They do what?
that they use the stimulus money.
Well, the
And
board,
budget.
the school department and town meeting, because obviously the ultimate decision makers are a town meeting come June 8th as to what we're going to move forward with in the fiscal year 2010 budget. And we're not going to have, and the school department's not going to have a very clear indication for a while as to exactly how much and the parameters that are going to be subjected to here in relation to the stimulus fund. So I think it's too premature for us to anticipate taking money out of the stabilization fund for the upcoming fiscal year, so that they have to plan their personnel staffing levels accordingly. They have the option, and they can gamble with the stimulus fund, but I don't think we should be gambling with the stabilization fund at this particular point, so we really know how this thing sorts itself out. And unfortunately, I think it's going to have we already know it's going to take a tremendous toll on all services across government and the school department. So we just have to face the reality that we have to be prudent, we have to be a little bit very cautious as to how we spend and anticipate that we're in this for the long haul, 2-3 years or more. So the stabilization fund is just is a last resort. Plus this other stuff has been exhausted and we get through it. But I don't want to see a town meeting floor on Monday, we may have the discussion, but I really don't want to see us fighting over the stabilization fund because I think it's too early to be doing that, talking about it. And unfortunately, for the timing of everything, we're not going to have the opportunity to staff at the levels that we believe we should be at, particularly in the school department. We don't have the answer to the stabilization fund. Obviously, on the stimulus money. I just think we take a very conservative approach on the money and on our staffing level.
I did ask Representative Jones if, in fact, he thought to have at least some information as to how to apply for this stimulus money. I'm talking about the school. They quickly produced a document to apply to cover 2009.
Right.
Now, if you knew what the rules were, you could make some decision. It doesn't sound like we're going to know what the rules are on June 8th.
No, they could change over time, too. That's unfortunate.
Which poses the question of...
I think a lot of communities...
The good news is that the stimulus money is not a budgeted item. That's a double-edged sword, but it's not a budgeted item, which means that whatever we pass at town meeting, the school department in their application for stimulus money can control based on, what's allowed, the amount of money, additional money to close that gap. It's their choice, it's not ours. We can recommend that they do certain things, but it's their choice. We have no control over that.
And don't get me wrong, I think the superintendent and school committee's approach thus far has been very good, as far as trying to stretch it out over the 2 years. There's been conservative in relation to spending only 50% of it, reserving the rest of it. But as you say, the rules are gonna be continuously evolving, and I think you're gonna see a lot of communities that's gonna come into, a big factor that's gonna come into play. I think there's a lot of communities that are gonna plug this year and the upcoming 2010 budget money, budgets with a lot of the stimulus money and spend a lot of it up front in order to forego the initial impact and pain of it all, which is gonna leave them short, but may impact the rules of the game since they haven't been fully defined. So it's gonna be interesting. I certainly don't wanna be in a position where we get caught short for fiscal year 2011 or 12, 11 anyway. The argument on the other side is, spend it now and we'll worry about tomorrow or later. I don't think that's a good approach. I think that's when you start looking things in the stabilization fund to help maintain what level of services we're able to finance for the upcoming fiscal year.
We do that, but also going to FY11, I think we may have to look at operating this whole town differently, and taking a look at other areas where we can make some adjustments, because my concern on the school side is this yo-yo effect from year to year in terms of the educational programs that are being offered. We can't allow from year to year, depending on what grade you're in, depending on what year you're in, the programs may be there, they may not be there. We can't just have the schools to be an afterthought. I think they have to make some adjustments over there in terms of teacher salaries and so forth, but in terms of programs, the level of education in this town is starting to drop off. We can't allow that to happen too. So the whole town has to rally behind that, in my opinion, and maybe this whole town has to think about doing business differently in all areas, both on the general government side and on the school side. But we need help from our partners, the State House, as well as in Washington D.C. too.
Well, look, the bottom line is this, an 7.8% increase is not sustainable.
I understand, that's why I said there have to be adjustments made in terms of their salary
You
pool.
could say that, okay, the school is gonna get the 7.8% every year, and we're gonna reduce general government accordingly, right? And it wouldn't take very many years before there is no police, there is no fire, there's no public works.
No, I understand, 7.8 is not sustainable. Change has to be made on all sides, and that's what I say. Teachers have to face reality here. We're dealing with unprecedented times. Financial crisis is smacking everyone in the face. People are losing jobs, people are losing homes. Teachers have to step up to the plate and just can't expect that their step increases are an entitlement. I'm frustrated over that there hasn't been movement on that, unfortunately, is my understanding. I think as the police had done, they stepped up, took a zero on COLA, and took a zero on step increases. I would like to see more unions in town step up and do the same thing, and we could close this gap and move forward. Or bring it closer to closure. Closer to closure. We're not going to close the whole thing, but can certainly make a big dent in it.
don't necessarily disagree, that something like that should be done. I mean, it's one of those variables which becomes a budget buster, that we wrestle with annually. So there needs to be some sort of stabilization fund for this. But we have annual costs that they can quantify every year. We always have, and there's sort of incremental increase in there. But those gaps that need to be filled, and that's where a stabilization fund for special education is warranted. But we've talked about it. We have to do it, but the funding source has to come from somewhere too.
What we do know right now is that this IDEA money, the $340,000 of which they're making full use of, is additional IDEA money above what is normally received, which as far as we know hasn't been cut. So that's additional money coming into the budget, which, obviously has helped reduce the gap. I don't disagree with the idea of putting it into a fixed cost area, and it would be good probably to do the snow and ice the same way. But I think we would have to, before we could do that, before it was practical, is to try to build up some funds to deal with it, so that, when something occurs, that it isn't a shock to the system. How we do that in the midst of all of this, is more than a challenge. It's
Not doable.
doesn't appear to be doable. Thanks, Joe. I was gonna say impossible, but I didn't wanna say.
No, I say not doable.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Bob, are you still on, 8 on the agenda on capital? There was one other piece.
We haven't got the we haven't even got the.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
all right,
and
all right. I thought you were done.
it's next item. Greg, you have any comments?
Yeah, I think the slides that you presented this evening are fairly accurately portray a different budgeting philosophy on the town versus the school side. And I'll be the first one to acknowledge that they have different ways and different expenses that they cannot control. The town side, the budget is based upon available revenues. That's what we build our budgets around, in this case, a -3% revenue reduction translated to, that's where we started, and we never moved off of that number. I certainly will acknowledge again and appreciate the job that the schools do, because they have costs that they really can't control. But there is very much of a difference in philosophy in terms of how we approach it. It's not to say that one side is better or not better than the other, but there is definitely a difference of approach, and that's reflected in the -3% budget that we submitted originally, and the school budget of 7.8%. The only other thing that struck me when you were going through the different scenarios with town meeting, and I have every confidence town meeting will do the right thing, very educated, informed voters in the community, but what I hope that doesn't get done is that the $752,000 gets voted in as a raise and appropriate, and we leave town meeting with an unbalanced budget, which forces decisions down the road that we haven't considered this evening. And so I would certainly be wary of that going into town meeting, because that would be the easiest thing and the simplest solution is we just go ahead and fund it, we raise and appropriate those monies, and then we put it back on the board to determine, and the finance committee to determine how you want to distribute it and how you want to fund that additional amount of money. I certainly hope we don't go there at the town meeting.
Are you intending on having us take a position in relation to stabilization fund?
Well, on the stabilization fund, we definitely will have to make a recommendation. The recommendation we thought when we put the article in here would be to pass it over.
No, but I mean,
Finance committee's in agreement with the seven.
no, but I mean in relation to tapping the stabilization fund for
Oh, I'm sorry.
operating
So,
expenses.
would you like to make a motion?
Didn't know if you wanted to have a consensus this evening, or do you want to wait till Monday night? I mean,
No,
as
I
much
just
as what,
assume
change.
not, wait until Monday night.
We're talking about Monday night, at our meeting Monday night before town meeting.
Good. Mr. Chairman, I move that the Board of Selectmen take a general policy